Hi guys, Yuki here. Oh my gosh, it's been so long, hasn't it? We're finally here after several things happening. So I downloaded this like at 5. Then I realized I didn't have any headphones because I lost mine, so I had to go to Walmart, and then I had to wait like 20 minutes to actually get these headphones because it was super busy. And then I'm back, and now it's here, and we're gonna record. So obviously we're gonna start with Damien. Pretty sure it's the gray one from last time. Diana, Eric, James, Matthew, Sam, Matthew, Damien. Alright. I think it's going to be the same, but either way, let's just go through the intro again. And if it's the same, I might just skip through it. But nonetheless, let's just get to it. And also, I'm just getting over a cold, so yeah.
Hold on there! Before you start the game, I need to ask you a few things. Don't want you getting lost now.
It's Kay.
First of all, have you read the first story, Seduce Me the Otome? Like, seriously read it. No skimming, no pretending to read it. No. It's okay if you haven't, but there are a lot of things in this game that you won't understand unless you fully experienced and understood that story first.
Psh, I've done the whole thing, so no problems there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Next question. You do know this is Damien's route, right? You know, the demon that wanted to be a human? The, bastard son?
No, he's not. I love him. Yep, I know.
Oh, awesome! Alright then. Damien is such a precious soul, and he deserves to be happy, you know?
Yes, he does. Wait, let me turn down the voices a little bit. Okay.
Anyway, I have one last question for you. Some people like hearing the trigger warnings before they start games, while others don't really care and just want to play. It's cool either way, but do you want to know about some of the content listed in the game?
Yes, everybody needs to know these.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Well, this game is recommended for players ages 18 and up. Trigger warnings include suicide, war, torture, mentions of rape, and a large amount of violence and sexual content.
Remember, kiddies, if you're underage, yeah, I mean, it's not for children, but I can't stop you, but I'm most likely try to keep this clean. So yeah.
Don't worry though, any sex scene choice you encounter is completely up to you. You can play this game without needing to go through the sex scenes and still get the good endings. Consent is important.
Yes.
I think that should be everything. All right. Phew, that took a while.
You forgot something.
Huh? What did I forget?
You forgot about the disclaimer.
Oh, crap! Oh, how could I have forgotten about that?
It's fine, I'll take care of it. This game was produced by Michaela Laws using the Ren'Py visual novel engine. We truly hope you enjoy this story.
Thanks, Diana. Now, don't you have a war to go fight?
I do. I just wanted to make sure everything was in order before the story began. I'll take my leave now.
Alright.
Thanks, Di.
Do not call me Di.
Anyway, we really do hope you like the story. Have fun! See you at the end.
I told him I had regrets. I had no regrets. I told Damien that I did not regret for 1 second that I had made a deal with Diana to make him human. I stood steadfast and knew what I was doing. But still, I didn't like the choice I had made. Something in my gut didn't feel right about what I did to Damien. Yes, I knew that Diana wouldn't have raped him, but what if she had? What if I had gave her permission to do so and I didn't know it? What if he didn't want to go through with it and Diana really did sleep with him anyway? I was mortified at the choice, but I had just wanted him to be happy. Every time he said my name, made me feel so happy. Every time he held me or kissed me or was a moment I carved into my memories forever to cherish. I loved him and wanted him to be truly happy. Damien reassured me that Diana didn't do anything to him, but I couldn't help but imagine it and even dream of it.
So, bastard son, do you truly wish to become human? You know very well that I am capable of making that happen.
I will not betray her trust.
What she doesn't know won't hurt her. Besides, don't you want to be human so you can be with her and not put her in any danger?
Stop it!
I couldn't stop illusions of what Diana and Damien could have done from appearing in my dreams, like a scene doomed to repeat over and over. Diana, shrouded in shadow, would loom over Damien and show herself as the evil woman she truly was. Damien, however, would struggle, fight to get away from her. I didn't want to see this, but I was forced to watch the scene play out.
Stop it. What makes you think you're in a position to say no to me?
I won't do it, Diana. You can't make me do this.
Oh, can't I? Your precious little human isn't here to save you.
I tried to scream to protest and prove Diana wrong, but I knew that I wasn't there. I was merely a bystander to a dream I could not stop. I was forced to witness Diana chaining Damien up to a black bed and touching him in the most sensual but unwanted ways possible. Her nails and tongue running along his skin made both him and me flinch and whimper in disgust.
Stop it!
What? Are you not enjoying yourself? You're an incubus, and even more than that, a man. Surely you can enjoy this treat in exchange for your precious humanity.
This was wrong. This was sick and beyond wrong. I felt like I was outside the small bubble Damien and Diana were in, and I was beating against the wall, trying to get in and stop her, but I couldn't break through. Each movement Diana made grew more and more sexual, like a predator playing with its prey. Damien struggled, thrashing around and fighting back against the chains that held him down, trying to break free. I prayed that he would. I screamed and hoped that he would be released from this. However, Diana glared and snapped her fingers, forcing him to gasp and his eyes to glow gold. He began to quake as if he was dying and starved like an animal and glared angry daggers at Diana, who only laughed. What sent deadly shivers down my spine was Diana looking over at me, as if she knew I was watching.
Remember, dear, you made this decision.
Diana chuckled before leaning close to Damien's face, looking over his mouth and startling his hips.
She was a cute little diversion. But now it's time to have some real fun.
As Damien began to scream, I suddenly woke from my nightmare, mentally unable to take being trapped inside of it anymore.
Huh?
Oh my gosh. Okay, good. Good. That scared me for a second. Beside me, I heard and felt Damien rise out of bed in response to me waking. I looked over him, seeing him quickly rub his eyes and look at me with worry.
Hey, what's wrong?
Bad things. I knew he couldn't read my mind anymore, so he wouldn't have known what I had seen. I still couldn't help but need to embrace him from the dream I had. Grabbing Damien's arm gently, I began to whimper.
Huh? Hey, come here.
Damien gently wrapped his arms around my form and hugged me to him, petting my back. I let out a weak mewl, shutting my eyes and trying not to cry. Damien gently kissed over my head, trying to calm me down.
Everything's okay. It was just a nightmare. I'm right here.
His voice helped me slowly start to relax, knowing what he had said was true, but it was a nightmare, not real. I couldn't shake all of the sadness from my mind, but I calmed down enough to not let it control me anymore. No, Pa. Long story short, my laptop died. So, I'm not gonna go through it. The intro's basically the same up to this point. So, yeah, we're just gonna start from here. Yeah, it's really sucky. Anyways, Diana stared down at me before sighing and kneeling down. This is really loud. I should probably turn this down. leaned away from her and sure what she'd do. Was she going to kiss me and take my energy?
Can you tell me what happened?
I didn't want to speak. I felt no courage. I was so wrapped this couldn't have been happening.
Is she okay? I don't think...
This is a waste.
Yes, because that's a smart thing to do. Kill someone who is clearly traumatized and has done nothing to deserve death. Brilliant idea. Bravo.
Do-do-do.
Can you stand? First.
I was attacked by this darkness. A couple of hands grabbed my legs and pulled me into it, and then I fell here.
Shadow summoning.
That's too... still... Oops. No. There... I think it should be fine.
On my honor.
My lady, if I may, I clearly remember hearing imp demons in the void along with her. It must have been the Demon Lord's henchmen.
Those damnable creatures. That explains it. Well, dear, it seems...
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yes. Hilariously enough.
No, yep. You will really send me back?
Of course. It should be easy to do once everything is in order. It'll be like you never left the human world.
Wait, like I never left the human world? Yeah, you're here, yada.
Dear, do you not realize where you are? You are in the demon world. Do not panic. We will send you back now, so there's nothing to worry about.
How will you power the spell? Bringing someone here is no easy task, but sending someone back consumes much more energy.
I'll use what energy I have now and rest. We can organize the siege another time when I fully recover. It's not like the Demon Lord can escape the corner we've trapped him in, so we do have some time to spare.
You'd waste time and energy on this human. We must strike now while the Demon Lord is weakened.
But the human doesn't belong here. She needs to go home.
Shall I prepare the return spell?
Do. I grant you permission to use my energy to power the spell.
Yep, also still shadow summoning. Hurts her.
You will obey my command. Open.
Yeah. When the spear pulled me forward, tells me to go.
You must leave now. The faster you leave, the quicker we can close the void.
Go! Go! Go get married!
Yeah.
How dare you interfere with my summoning!
Bolts of lightning, flashing and shocking a form.
No! Human! Use the passage! Now!
Same thing. Oh, dang.
Human will never, ever leave this world alive! Use mindless worm!
Close the portal! The Demon Lord might get through!
But the human...
Close it!
The man with the spear dropped his weapon, cut it in his arms, and then they go do things.
I don't sense the Demon Lord anywhere.
The worm has to scurry through the shadows to try and fight back. He'll be dead soon enough.
How is she, guard?
She... I can see a guard facial expression,
There are no physical wounds, but she's been weakened. I must give her my energy so she can recover.
They are gonna go have babies one day. I don't know.
There's an imp in the castle.
Actually...
That is the only way the Demon Lord could have been able to interfere.
Random thought. I know that they can have children, but this is a process... Well, this has probably been answered before, but... Yeah, I was just thinking.
You! Guards by the door! Hunt it down! We'll get you home. She needs
How about the
warlock she used to get...
It was merely a suggestion.
Yeah, my
The faster we
grandpa.
get this human home, the faster we can move on and finish off the Demon Lord.
Well, what are we going to do with a human now?
Nothing?
We can give her a room to rest in. Humans need sleep after all. Maybe by the time she wakes up, we'll think of a solution.
Come. Here, I'll bring you to the open ambassador's room. You are free to rest there for now.
What about Diana? The floating person giggled softly as the one with the rabbit ears cleared her throat.
She'll be fine. She's being taken care of right now.
Why not just say she's getting
And the brute strikes again with the lack of tasteful filtering between his brain and his mouth. You still have yet to prove me wrong about my expectations of you.
Keep testing me, assassin. I'm not afraid to rip your spine out of your body and use it as a back scratcher.
You can very well try, brute.
Ugh! Would you both knock it off?
Come. Everything will be taken care of.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Passed out. Da da da. Sleepy.
Did you have a good...
Diana comes back. Are you okay? They're seriously shocked. Is she not expecting to ask?
Oh. Well, yes, I'm fine now that I've had proper rest.
That's good. Shook her head, closing the door behind her.
So we need to find another way to get you back to the human world. It won't be easy, but I believe it can be done by tonight, at the latest.
And then she goes to explain. But you just need to go watch the first part, or the whole part of her. Basically the same thing. The intro's the same.
However, I cannot stop you from what will get.
And then I explore. Left. And then I think left again. Might be different from the first part. I don't remember. I was heading left anyway. Might as well make it another left. I turned left once more and headed down the hall, greeted by more fantastical decor. The sound of a heated battle caught my attention. I quickly rushed over to see a door, barely opened a crack, and behind it echoed the sound of clashing swords. Well then, guess this time I'm gonna go see Diana fight with, his Theta or whatever. I was hoping for, Faye, but oh well. I'm gonna turn that down. I peeked in to see Diana, the guard that was with her before in an intense sword fight. Now that I took a closer look, the man was extremely handsome and looked human, yet I could sense that he was very much a demon just from his presence alone. The man had the upper hand, but it was easy to tell he was holding back slightly by letting Diana swing her sword again and again at him before attacking her, forcing her to defend. The look on Diana's face showed pure concentration and almost anger as her sword clashed with his. I had never seen Diana this intense before, so to see stress and determination written across her expression was a surprise. Why was she fighting with a sword, though? She had demon magic.
You're holding back! Enough!
Diana jumped back from the man, bringing her sword to her side as the man did the same in perfect sync. She growled before tossing the weapon to him, and he caught it by the hilt with ease.
I told you not to hold back. Didn't you hear me?
The man stared at Diana before gently bringing the swords together and making them vanish into a soft blackness. He began to walk towards her as she turned around across her arms.
You can't treat me as if you are training a child, Sarah. I need to be ready for whatever the demon lord throws my way, and you holding back is only a hindrance to me.
I apologize, my lady.
Empty words.
It clicked. They were training. This man was her trainer and she was being treated like a novice. Why? Also, he did apologize. Why was she being so harsh about it? Also, I just noticed he has like this, I don't know what is this, but like, is that a glove? Is this some sort of type of armor on his arm? It's pretty cool. Maybe it was a mistake? Diana let out a sigh, walking to the balcony of the room, laying her hands on the railing, leaning over her arms.
As each day goes by, my kingdom, My army and I are constantly at risk. If I cannot defend myself when my energy runs out, then how will I defend this kingdom?
You will be victorious.
I will be slaughtered because of your inability to train me properly.
You know why I cannot, and yet you still demand it of me. I cannot bring myself to even potentially harm you.
And that will lead to my death.
What? What was Sayra talking about? Why couldn't he train her properly? Why was she so peeved about it? Couldn't she just get another trainer?
You will not die, my lady. I promise you that.
I cannot trust anyone who says that to me.
But you know that it's true. I will repeat my promise over and over to you until you accept it.
That promise comes out of a lie.
I watched as Sayra walked over to Diana and gently wrapped his arms around her from behind. She didn't resist, but she didn't lean into the embrace either.
My love for you is not a lie, Azair.
You do not have permission to use my name.
You are avoiding the subject. My feelings for you are real.
Huh. I think I gave myself, like, paper cuts, but with scissors. No, not like that. Like, tried opening the package of the headphones thing, and I was using, like, zigzag scissors because I couldn't find regular scissors, and let's just say that there was a lot of plastic flying everywhere.
Your feelings are false.
They are as pure and true as your golden heart.
This be old Mika from season 1. Yeah, right. But we know we know she's good now, but still. Old Mika? No. I could not believe what I was seeing. Diana had an admirer? When did this become a thing? Who even was this guy to her? Why was she so against him being his love? And his love, bleh.
You will defeat the Demon Lord and bring freedom to the Abyssal Plains. You will rise and become the land's new queen and sovereign, and I will stand beside you forevermore, because I love you. Deny my love all you may. I have served you and your family my entire life. I could never lie or hurt you. If you truly cannot love me back, then I will remain as your humble protector and servant till the end of my days.
You waste your life on me.
It is not a waste to serve and protect the woman I love with my life.
You waste your love on me.
It's not a waste to love such a wonderful woman.
I want to go back to Damien now.
You waste your life on me.
Oops.
It is not a waste to serve and protect the woman
Oh, that's
I love
cool.
with
If
my
I
life.
press something, I can backtrack.
You waste your love on me.
It's not a waste to love such a wonderful woman.
I didn't know what to make of this. Sarah was really seemed dedicated to Diana, yet she was putting up some sort of emotional wall between them that he couldn't break through. It was sad to watch it. From the posture Diana held, I could tell that she felt her actions were justified. Maybe she was trying to protect him from her. Maybe she didn't want to hurt him. I had seen firsthand what she could do if she had something she needed. This must be how she acted when something needed her. Diana gently sighed to his. In my surprise, Diana turned her body slightly to Sayra, in his arms, and ran her hand over Sayra's chest, and making his uniform top vanish into purple mist, leaving his chest bare. What was Diana doing? Okay, we gotta go now.
I need energy.
We gotta go now.
From me, or do you wish me to?
We gotta go now.
Just give me your energy. I have no time to wait for you to get me a sweet flower.
I need to go. Need to go. Sayra nodded before gently turning Diana fully to him in his arms, kissing her. For some reason, it made me have looked like a normal kiss, but I could feel the love and passion that ran through it. It was almost magical to watch. One thing was for certain, however, he really did love her. There was the way he held her, painted his feelings like a picture, so openly and gentle and loving. Did she really love him, though? She simply had one hand holding one of his arms while another rested against Sayra's back. Diana's feelings were an enigma. I quickly took that moment to leave, not wanting to disturb them and not wanting to see their moment go any further than that kiss. Yeah, exactly, we gotta go. Looks like soup. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know the food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, and being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat. Looks normal to me. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it looks normal. Does that have a face? Nope. No way, no how. I was not in the mood to try out new things after what I had seen through. Blah, 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 blah. Yep. Knock rap, Diana.
I suggest not trying that. As good as it smells, the taste would not sit well with you.
Instantly, I moved the bowl to the nearby table, thankful that I did not have to try it, and she gave me some bread and water.
It's not much, but it's human food.
Ate it because I was super hungry, and then she's like, okay.
I can tell. Take a moment to finish eating, then we'll head for the ritual. We finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and we'll start.
Yep, let's go.
Huh? Are you sure?
Yep, I just want to go home. Let's go. It was needed for the spell to work.
This should work.
You're in doubt?
Have to be after the last time we tried sending her home. Do we have a human anchor?
No, you're on your own this time. But we'll make sure you survive casting it.
This spell should work, however, because we'll be using energy material. It will only require a slice of your energy on top of these items, which your guard can refill immediately after this.
Just make sure you don't die casting it.
So, are you ready to return home?
Yep.
Otnibris portas, apriat nobis, largiatur exidium, desiderium.
She spoke, the table began to glow as she did. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arched her head back, staring at the ceiling. A glimpse of her eyes made me gasp. Warm golden orbs covered her blood-red irises, glowing with dark magic. She was deep within the spell, and I could see it slowly draw energy from her body. Yep, all that stuff. I don't really care. Oh, look, gotta go. Can't get through.
She will never leave this world alive!
What stopped the rest of my body was a red light and force, forcing me and Diana back from the opening. I felt my body fly backwards as sun went to the wall before it landed on the stone ground. I heard Diana as well land beside me with a painful blood. I looked up and felt my heart break as the tear became wrapped in red lightning, zipping itself closed and vanishing into thin air. No, this could not be.
Damn it!
That should have worked! How could it have failed?
We must have missed something. Was there anything we had forgotten?
No. I verified everything myself.
Then why was the Demon Lord able to overpower a gate spell?
I highly doubt you know either, brute.
Stop fighting! We need to make a plan and all of you are just being stupid! Stupid!
Are you alright, Isaiah?
I'm fine. The Demon Lord must have done something more than simply bring her here.
What's good?
The demon.
A curse. She will not leave the demon world alive. He must have placed some sort of curse on her to prevent her from leaving this plane. In order to leave, she'd have to die.
Are you suggesting a barrier curse?
That would explain the red energy that sealed the tear.
But dark magic like that requires
Blood of 1,000 demons. He must have sacrificed part of his army to cast a curse on her that would prevent her from leaving.
The Demon Lord is that desperate for her.
The only way to break that kind of curse is to kill the caster, the Demon Lord himself.
She's trapped here until this war is over.
My body began to shiver violently. The Demon Lord killed 1,000 demons just to trap me here. Why? I slammed my fist into the ground and began to scream. I want to go home! Why? I could feel the sympathy and anger in the room, but I didn't care. I was beyond livid. I was far past broken. I was seeing red. And I still can't scream. Ah! As my voice ripped through the air, I'm waiting for this. Ever now? Okay. As my voice ripped through the air, a bright light erupted through the room once again. Everyone covered their eyes, but Diana quickly scrambled to get on her knees and covered me with her body. She held me tightly as the light invaded the space and slowly began to fade. As the light finally died, everyone moved their hands to see what happened. In the air was this white tear that was slowly opening, facing down towards the table. Something was coming. I could feel it in the air. The guard summoned his spear and pointed at the tear, glaring at it and gritting his teeth.
Something's coming!
In reply, Diana summoned what looked like a saber and placed it in front of us.
Ready yourselves! It could be the Demon Lord!
The other demons in the room readied themselves and stared at the tear, either holding a weapon or preparing a spell. I felt the air change, becoming heavier as the tears began to grow. The energy around it began to pulsate, making everyone in the room that much more tense. I stared at the tear as well, frightened as to see what was coming. What was the demon lord? His minions were making a cycle through the fearful ideas of what was about to appear. My heart almost stopped. Falling from the tear and landing on the table were the 5 incubi brothers. They were piled on top of one another, having come through one at a time. However, as the last brother landed, the boys fell to one side, toppling off the table and landing on the floor. The rebels around me stared at the fallen pile of incubi, confused and surprised. As the tear in the air closed, the ogre man was the first to lower his sword.
What the hell?
Who are they?
Careful! They could be the Demon Lord's men!
No! The rebels looked at me and I stood up, Diana following and still protecting me, and I stared at the boys on the ground. They all looked dazed and a bit shell-shocked about having fallen twice in rapid succession. I almost couldn't believe it. They were right there, in front of me. My mind couldn't help but remember how I had first met them. They had all been on the floor of my mansion, unconscious and wounded. Now they were in front of me in the demon world. I know them! I stared at the one I was meant to marry, seeing him slowly shake his head and rise from the ground. They came to rescue me. He came to rescue me. My heart became overjoyed and full of warmth and happiness. I was going to go home. The question was, how? As the sight of the boys kept the demon's attention, a second tear opened above them, causing everyone to look up. 4 women dropped down from the tear and somehow managed to fall into the arms of the incubi behind Damien.
Whoa!
I gotcha!
Norin?
I gotcha! It's okay!
Oh.
Eric!
Dang, she's look fancy.
Love, I've got you!
James!
Man, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. Oh. Okay, I'll see.
Whoa, are you alright?
I mean, it's all good, but that and I just think it's just a little piece of me that was like, oh man, I wanted them all to myself, but I know it can't be. I already made my decision, and they got their wives, girlfriends, all that such things. I stared wide-eyed. Their wives came too? I watched as the boys and the girls finally planted themselves on the ground before looking around. Damien's eyes locked onto me and he hurried towards me. Damien! I swerved around Diana and rushed to Damien, meeting him halfway and wrapping my arms around him tightly.
I'm so glad you're safe.
I took in his scent, his warmth. He was here in my arms and I couldn't have asked for anything more. Damien seemed to feel the same as he wrapped his arms around my form and buried his face on my shoulder. I'm gonna give him a squeeze. I tightened my hold on Damien, silently expressing my love and happiness at seeing him and feeling him again. He squeezed back lovingly, peppering my neck with kisses. As Damien and I had our moment, his brother stepped up near us, almost in a protective circle. Sam, however, moved towards Diana, glaring hard.
You've got 10 seconds to explain why she's here, bitch.
I'm going to ignore that insult for the sake of the bride. However, I wasn't the one who brought her here.
You're such a terrible liar.
It's good to hear all your voices, guys. Good to hear. I turned to see Matthew and Sam standing in front of me and Damien, ready to attack Diana. The succubus in question, however, seemed unfazed by their attempts at intimidation. Guys.
Did she bring you here?
What? I turned my head back to Damien. I saw a serious look in his eyes. I had only seen that look once before, when Diana had confronted me and showed me his past. I shook my head. No, she didn't bring me here. It was the Demon Lord.
I beg your pardon?
Are you sure?
I stared at Damien, seeing something in his eyes ignite like an angry flame that was quickly growing. His hold on me tightened as he looked at Diana.
Why did he bring her here?
I looked over to Diana, know that she would explain, but I was surprised to see her flinch back at his expression. Was she scared?
He wanted to lure you all back, knowing that at least you, Damien, would chase after her, and the others would follow. Obviously, his plan worked.
This time it was the boys who flinched in surprise. Feeling the weight of her words, however, Damien gathered himself and spoke up again.
Well, thank you for keeping her safe. We'll be...
She can't leave.
And why not?
She's been cursed by the Demon Lord. She can't leave unless she dies or until we kill him.
You plan to kill him?
We're obviously not going to choose the former. We've been fighting the Demon Lord for 10 years now. Might as well have another reason to kill him.
My eyes looked to Damien, wondering what he was thinking. Diana then shrugged.
However, it will take some time to plan out our attack. We can't just walk into his castle and slit his throat.
Damien finally looked back to me, staring into my eyes, as if he was trying to find some sort of response. I stared back, trying to find some hint as to what he was thinking about in his eyes. He slowly leaned forward and kissed my forehead before turning his head back to Diana.
How much time do you need?
1 week.
I shot my head towards Diana in surprise, as did the rest of the occupants in the room. Seriously? 1 week?
Where is this number coming from, Succubus?
We need to fully prepare ourselves for the final stage, which I'm certain will only take a couple of days. We've pinned him into a corner. The Demon Lord will fall.
That's rather bold to assume.
She's right, though. We can prepare everything in that time frame, right?
And if he does the same and attacks us before then?
He won't.
I watched as Diana walked over and cleared the table of the materials they had gathered for the gate spell, revealing a physical map of the abyssal plains. She pointed to a spot in the map, a peninsula surrounded by water labeled as the Decaying Sea. Are we gonna go on a ship? That sounds like fun.
We'll cast a barrier spell along the edge of the peninsula and around the castle. He and his army won't be able to move from that spot until we break it ourselves, which will be during the siege.
Where would we get the energy needed for that kind of spell?
We won't be using energy.
Huh? The other rebel demons in the room suddenly tensed up, staring at Diana in surprise. What's she going to do?
My lady, you're not suggesting...
The Demon Lord has shown how far he is willing to go to win this war. It's only fitting to show the extent we'll go to in response.
As much as I agree with you, this seems a little rash.
What are you guys talking about?
Are they allowed to know?
I plan to put a barrier curse around the Demon Lord's castle and army. It's temporary, so it won't
No!
1,000 demons. But it will need the sacrifice of at least 1 demon life.
No!
And I assume you'll be sacrificing one of my soldiers.
Is this our only option?
There are other options, but they will most likely take a lot of energy to pull off.
It just depends on what we want to do. If we want to do this immediately, then the barrier curse is indeed the best option.
I'm not opposed to performing the curse. As rash as it is, it will make our lives easier in the long run.
You expect me to hand over one of my men? My soldiers joined the rebellion to kill the Demon Lord, not to get their throats slit before even seeing the final battle?
It's wrong, but can we really afford to spend any more energy? Diana already spent a lot trying to send the human back.
What is the other option?
The rabbit woman and the fairy moved towards the map and pointed to the
We
peninsula.
can form tall rock walls around the castle. Box him in.
It will take a lot of our energy, but we can recover in that week period.
And what will stop the Demon Lord from tearing down the walls?
I can imbue the walls with holy magic.
The incubi and I looked at him, all of us equally surprised. A demon with holy magic? How?
How the fuck did you get holy magic? You look and smell like a demon.
The guard held up his wrapped hand, letting the beads around it jangle. with the sudden motion.
I've had the ability to use holy magic ever since I was taken in by my lady's family. There's no doubt that I am a demon, but I can't recall how I gained this ability.
How is holy magic different than demon magic?
It's white magic. Unlike demon magic, holy magic isn't so finicky. Think of it as warding or dispelling magic. You can't bless air or anything that doesn't have physical form, but you can bless objects to fight back against other forms of magic.
If the walls were blessed with holy magic, the Demon Lord wouldn't be able to escape until we released him.
Why not just trap him forever?
That's idiotic. He would still be a threat regardless. Holy magic doesn't last forever. And stone will crumble eventually.
He's right. We wouldn't be able to keep the walls up forever.
This situation became more and more complicated the more we discussed it. How are we going to go about this?
We can't just sit around and debate this forever. The longer we wait, the more we risk him striking back at us.
But is it worth killing someone to trap him?
When we finally strike, we will lose hundreds, if not thousands of soldiers anyway. What difference will it make to lose one more life on top of this?
Wow. Every life matters, shadow person.
Soulless fuck.
We can still cage him in.
I bit my lip. It was really a tough decision. A curse or a trap? Which was better? Both had their prices, but we had to choose one. Someone looked what no one was going to speak up, so I felt the urge to say something. Maybe I would be the one who would determine everything. I don't want to! But which method would be the best choice? I don't want to. I don't wanna. No, I will not lose my humanity. I say the trap. Everyone in the room looked at me and I finally spoke up. We needed to be better than the Demon Lord. He was willing to sacrifice lives to trap them here. But it only showed how desperate he was to win and how little he valued life. He would lose this war one way or another. It wasn't worth losing someone who could help during the tide of war. When can you put up a barrier up?
We can leave after this, meeting is over.
Are you sure this is the best choice?
The curse isn't the only option. We need to show that we're better than him. Everyone nodded, some in reluctance while the others did with confidence. I looked at Diana just in time to catch a twitch from her visible eye, but she shook her head and looked to the rabbit woman.
Are you quite positive this will work?
I am very certain. Since it will be just 3 of us going, we can shadow travel there and be back by the morning.
Diana looked at her guard and nodded.
Very well. If you believe it will work, then I trust you will make sure it does.
As the guard nodded and slightly bowed, the other demons seemed to let out a sigh of relief. Were they worried about performing the curse? Diana shook her head before crossing her arms and looking directly at me.
So, since you'll be here for a while, we might as well give you names that you can use to refer to everyone here.
Are we getting human names?
Must we?
Diana rolled her eyes and gestured to each demon, naming them on the fly.
For the sake of time, we'll use simple names. This is Rabbit, our magic advisor. Sergeant, commander of our armies. Shadow, leader of our assassins. And Faye, our nomadic force ambassador.
Sergeant? I'm a commander, succubus. Shouldn't my name be Commander?
It's easier on the tongue, though, to say Sergeant.
My lady, what shall they call me?
Diana looked at Sarah for a moment before turning towards me, a look of seriousness emanating from her eyes.
You may call him Cero. He is my personal guard, and he is always by my side.
Jeez, don't look at me like that. I'm not gonna steal your boy. The other demons and Sarah seemed to be surprised. Was Sarah his true name? Demon name? Why would she give me his true name?
Are you sure?
Call him only if your life depends on it.
Obviously.
Do not abuse this permission.
Obviously. Her eyes seemed to burn as she gazed into mine, full of hard intent and warning. I mentally noted her seriousness as she ran a hand through her. I don't even remember Damien's. Or the others. And names anymore. Actually, no, that's a lie. I think James was Race Row. But that's the only one I remember.
Well,
Now that we have a plan and introductions are out of the way, I believe we can end this meeting. We have a lot to accomplish in 1 week.
What about us? You don't expect us to sit around.
Actually, I do. You all don't belong on the battlefield.
Excuse me? Just hold on a...
Is it Irene?
I will not take untrained and unarmed beings into a war zone.
Hold on! I interjected, stepping forward and crossing my arms at Diana. She was seriously willing to make us stay back while she fought the Demon Lord, was she? That sounds childish. That sounds complacent. I don't want to fight, but that's the only way. We can fight too. Diana squinted at me, pressing her lips together in a fine line. However, I meant what I said. We could fight too.
You expect me to trust that you can fight in a war?
Let me and my brothers train then. We're demons, for fuck's sake. We know how to fight.
The boy stared at Diana as she turned her head towards Sam. He was right, though. They all knew how to train so they could fight. If they fought with the rebellion, there would be a better chance of winning this war.
You all realize this is a war, correct? You can die here.
We understand completely.
I don't want to lose any of you guys.
We know what the risks are.
Iridessa? Diana could only stare at our group as we challenged our proclamation. I wrapped my hand around my fiancé's arm, frightened of the idea of participating in a war, but knowing that we needed all the strength that we could muster to finish off the Demon Lord. This was the only way that I could go home. Defeated, Diana sighed and rubbed her temples.
Very well. I can't exactly keep you here like prisoners, so it will be up to you if you choose to train for battle. However, I highly suggest just staying here and allowing us to handle it.
I nodded, as did the others. This was really happening. We were going to kill a Demon Lord, and we had 1 week to either prepare for war or wait it out. Diana turned towards me and looked down at my outfit. I had nearly forgotten that I was still in my wedding dress until Diana pointed at my chest.
Lumen infere, bellum tabescere, serene.
I stared at her, unsure of why she was speaking Latin, until I felt the fabric around my body shift and change. I quickly looked down to see my wedding dress morph into an outfit that looked perfect for the demon world. The white top shifted into a long-sleeved, oversized tunic with a leather corset and vest, while the bottom part of the gown split and wrapped around my legs, forming into dark leggings. My shoes stretched into long knee-high boots. Nice.
Hey, you look really nice. Good choice.
I blushed, getting used to the feel of the outfit. The corset wasn't tight, but it was still something new along with the rest of the garb. Damien smiled and wrapped an arm around my shoulder, hugging me to him.
You look really nice.
It's just clothes. Thank you.
Faye, Rabbit, you both should finish your preparations and head over to the Demon Lord's castle for the spell.
How are you going to get there?
I'll get us there, no problem. Just make sure we don't get stuck there or lost.
No promises!
Sarah, make sure the job is done.
I shall, my lady.
Sarah, Faye, and Rabbit began to make their way out of the room as Diana turned to me and my group. As they left, Diana let out a small sigh.
I will take you to some rooms you may rest in.
Wait, Sam's supposed to speak, but there's no... Yeah, thank you, Diana. Damien merely nodded and led our group out of the room towards our new temporary rooms. The walk to the room was filled with awkward silence. What were we supposed to do here? Damien and I were both human, and while yes, we both knew he'd have to help in the war, he wasn't a demon anymore. I grimaced, feeling the nervousness of the situation take hold of me. This was going to be a rocky adventure. Who knew it would happen? What to expect? I could only guess time would tell. I gripped Damien's hand harder, letting my nerves sink in. Naturally, Damien smiled and kissed my forehead.
It's okay. Everything will be alright, I promise.
You can't know that, though! I nodded, but some part of me was still fearful despite his reassurance. We were in the demon world. Humans in the demon world. I was worried what would become of Damien now that he was in his home plane as something he wasn't born as. I looked up at Damien, seeing him focused on following our guide to get us to our room. I was curious. What was going on through his mind? I was sure he was worried when I was taken, but now that he had me back, what was he thinking of now? For a moment, I briefly wished I had his mind-reading ability. I wanted to know what went through Damien's mind at everything we did, at every step we made, at every event that came along the road. Feeling my stare, Damien turned his head and looked down at me, furrowing his eyebrows in confusion.
What is it?
I lightly bit my lip. Did I want to tell him what was on my mind? Yes? What do you think of this whole situation? I had to verbalize my curiosity. Damien took in the question before turning to the hall once again, frowning a bit.
I think it's a really bad situation. You're trapped here, and I'm human, so I can't do much to help in the war.
I know, but maybe there's a slight chance you might not really be human, for sure. As Damien squeezed my hand, however, I felt my heart flutter a bit.
Still, I want to help and bring you back. I'll do everything I can to send us back home.
I don't want to lose you, Damien. Damien. I naturally hugged his arm to me, causing him to gasp a bit and look over, a faint blush running across his cheeks. He was so adorable, and I absolutely loved him. Whatever drew him to me made my heart feel absolutely lucky to have him. As we reached our room, I took it in that the ambassador room I had claimed the night before was officially sanctioned for me and Damien. The others were given rooms in another part of the castle, so we had some space to ourselves. Stepping in, I took a seat on the bed, feeling mild exhaustion sweep over me. However, Damien looked around the room in slight awe. I tilted my head, wondering, oh my gosh, did he live basically in a cellar or something? That'd be really sad. That'd make me cry. Damien stepped around the room, looking around and observing every piece of decor. As he got to the mantel, he looked almost stunned to see the design and architecture of it. It was almost like watching a little kid walk into a museum. Damien? The voice caught his attention, causing Damien to jump up and look at me in surprise. Oh, that's even worse. Out of instinct, he's afraid that if he enters a nice room, he'd get in trouble. Ah, this hurts. As he calmed down, he rubbed the back of his neck in nervousness.
Sorry, I've never really been in a room like this before, so this is a bit of a surprise to me.
Really? What kind of room did you have? Yep. I stared at Damien in shock. He really never saw a room like this? We were in the demon world, though. How could this have not been familiar to him? I was positive that he would have at least seen a room like this in his time here. Damien shook his head in reply.
I never had
And my heart suddenly crumbled in my chest. I knew that Damien was the mistreated bastard son of the demon lord, but that he did not have a room? That was almost cruel. I couldn't help imagining Damien sleeping on the cold marble floor of the grand hall, or even in a cell. My soul began to weep for him, but I knew that it was just better to ask him about his experiences and assume that absolute worst cases. How did you sleep then?
Well, demons don't sleep at all, actually.
Oh. That made absolutely no sense. Wait, what? They don't? Why do they have beds? Oh. Well, and stuff then. Damien blushed a bit with a grimace across his lips.
Well, other than having, sex, demons rest. Like lying down and reading or something like that, but demons never close their eyes for long. It opens them up to being taken advantage of.
Then how the heck do demons function?
With energy and food. As long as a demon has both, or at least one or the other, they can keep functioning without needing to sleep. Lying down simply lets them stop using their energy.
Then what about in the human world? Were you and the others pretending to sleep? Damien shook his head, driving another confused wedge into my brain. What? Demons could sleep then, but only if they wanted to? But they absolutely didn't need to, so they didn't have to? Damien laughed a bit at my confusion.
When we went to the human world, we got to experience sleep for the first time. It was so good for us, and we felt relaxed, so we kept at it, like regular humans. Besides, the risks we had here are not the same as the risks in the human world.
There was still a lot I had to learn about demons, apparently. Not that I needed to know, but my curiosity about them grew the more I learned about them. Damien smiled and walked over to sit beside me and kissed my cheek.
I think we'll be safe to sleep, though. This is Lilith Castle, after all.
Lilith Castle? This place has a name? With a nod, Damien pointed at the mantle, tracing the air and the markings in the stonework.
If I remember right, James told me about the first succubus, Lilith, and how she gave birth to incubi and succubi from this very castle. Diana is her descendant, so she now owns this place.
Wow! So Diana really was a princess. I was a bit surprised to confirm the fact, but in the end it made sense. She had the attitude of one, that was for sure. Damien wrapped an arm around my shoulders and smiled.
At least we'll get some good sleep tonight.
Yeah. I could feel that we would be okay in our room. The castle was well fortified from what I knew, and Diana seemed to be on top of making sure everything ran smoothly, as did the other rebel dealers. Everything was like a well-oiled machine. I leaned my head on Damien's shoulder, letting out a small sigh. I'm sorry.
Huh? For what?
I looked up at Damien, remembering that I had been gone an entire day. I must have worried him sick and made everyone else go crazy at my absence, not only from the wedding, but from the entire human world. For going missing. Is this where I learned that it's actually been like 10 years? Because that's gonna make me sad. For going missing, I was gone for a whole day. Damien stared at me for a moment before smiling and kissing my forehead.
Were you really here a whole day?
I furrowed my eyebrows, staring at him and trying to figure out if he was joking or being serious. Seeing my expression, Damien let out a small laugh and hugged me to his side.
To me, you were only gone for about 4 or 5 hours.
Wait, what? That could not be. There was no way I was gone for that short period of a time. I remember sleeping in this room, going through an entire day of being in this world and trying to get home to him twice. That definitely did not add up. With a small smirk, Damien released me and placed his hand on my head.
Time runs differently between the human and demon world. A whole day here is about 5 hours in the human world.
Oh, okay, so...
You weren't gone very long.
If we're gonna be there for 7 days, and it's 5 hours each, it's gonna be 35 hours. A day and 5 hours. My jaw dropped. Even time was different here? This world was full of surprises. I felt myself hold my cheeks and try to take it in. How did everyone react? Damien frowned a bit and gently wrapped his arms around me, hugging me fully to him and resting his head on mine.
We were all worried sick about you.
Damien. I could only imagine what Damien went through in those 5 hours. When I didn't arrive, what was the first thing he did? What was the first thing anyone did? I felt guilty, but I also knew what had happened was out of my hands. Damien let out a small sigh and kissed my head.
When you didn't show up, we sent the girls to find you while my brothers managed to wipe everyone's memories and delay the wedding for a couple of days. We didn't know how fast it would take us to find you.
Damien's grip tightened around me as he pulled me even closer to him.
I had to rely on my brothers to find you. There was no clue to where you were taken, so I had to sit and wait until they managed to locate you, here. Then we came.
Oh, that must really suck. Then you came. I'm gonna brace him. I was stunned by the love I was given by Damien. Despite being human, he traveled through the gates of worlds to try and find me. I was lucky to have a loving man like him. My only regret was being in this world instead of at the altar with him. I wrapped my arms around Damien and pressed my forehead to his shoulder, closing my eyes and taking in his scent and love. Eventually, Damien pulled away and stared down at me with a tired smile.
We should get some rest. There's a long week ahead of us.
I nodded in agreement, knowing exactly what he meant. We slowly crawled into bed and snuggled into each other's arms, embracing the darkness of slumber once more. As sleep welcomed me, a thought ran through my mind. What would happen? Obviously the boys would help fight the war, but what about Damien? He was indeed human and had no abilities to use as such. Then again, maybe he could still use magic as a human? Carrie was able to do so, and she was human, but she was a witch, trained in magic. Damien's abilities came with his demon side, which he no longer had. How would he fight then? The question floated around in my mind in my dream as I drifted to a calm and peaceful sleep.
Why can't I sleep? Something's wrong.
Okay.
Something is indeed wrong, boy. You're in the demon world, and you won't even acknowledge your demon side.
Oh my god! Ouch! Ouch!
Huh? What are you doing here?
Observing a disappointment for amusement. You keep continuing to fail at living so much that it's become a wonderful form of entertainment.
Who is this?
The demon who lost his powers. Doesn't that sound absolutely ridiculous?
Oh
Let's
my
replace it
god.
with the demon whose wife almost became the demon lord's next bed bitch.
What do you want?
Oh, come now, don't be so hostile. You'll wake the human up.
She and I are both human.
I cannot believe it. Is that what you still think, boy? Do you truly believe yourself to be human?
Yes. No matter how many times you taught me, I know the truth. I am human.
Who is this? I'm gonna be tortured by this, aren't I?
Well, I hate to break the delusion you may be under, but you should know that becoming a human is impossible for a demon.
That's not true. I've been a human for over 2 years now. I don't believe you.
Then you are more of a disappointment than I imagined. God, why don't you just give up? Then again, if you gave up, then I would lose my entertainment.
Leave.
Fine, fine, I shall. But heed my words, boy. Tomorrow will be a very rough awakening for you. I can feel it.
I'm so confused. How long have I been recording for? Probably like an hour. I should probably stop here. Even though I want to know more. I guess I'll have to leave that for tomorrow. I know it's been for a really long time since I last did this. So I'm kind of rusty. But it's good to be back. I mean, I still have a few more weeks of school, but once that's done, I hopefully be uploading more, but I can't really make promises because, you know. So yeah. I don't know what else to say, I guess. Oh yeah, so the contest thing for, or not contest, more of like a giveaway just ended. I finally, well, I think I made my decision. I mean, I did the randomizer, but I don't know if I like the randomizer that well because I don't feel like it's truly random, so. But yeah, I will announce that most likely tomorrow. So yeah, so look forward to that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. And I still need to know who that is, I'm still confused. Anyway, bye!